Get this and get it straight. Crime is a sucker's road, and those who travel it wind up in the gut of the prison of the grave. There's no other end, but they never learn. There's nothing really wrong with a hot summer. But if some sadist really wanted to bring out the worst in anybody, particularly me, after a steaming day, all he has to do is expose me to air conditioning. Take, for instance, the Broadview Hotel, which was on Olive Street in downtown L.A. It ground out alternating currents of cold air from what could laughingly be called the lobby. I'd revolved through the usual doors and stood squinting into the icy darkness. When my eyes leveled off again, I made my way to the elevators, sinking into the deep-piled carpeting up to my hot and cold ankles. By the time I reached room 972, I was in the first stages of a chill. Yeah, air conditioning is a marvelous invention. It guarantees the summer cold for life.
Oh, you're Mr. Marlowe?
That's right. That makes you Mr. Allman, huh?
Oh, come in.
Martin
come in.
Allman?
Come in.
Sure. Yeah, you're nothing like I'd pictured you, Mr. Allman.
Sit down, please, Mr. Marlowe. Pictured me? I don't understand.
Well, all my life I'd heard about Philadelphia lawyers. Somewhere along the line, I drew up a mental 8x10 of a... Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. You just don't look the prototype.
Perhaps that's because I'm only a junior partner in the firm, Mr. Marlowe.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
You know, it's an odd thing about prototypes, Mr. Marlowe. They'll trick you.
Oh?
For example, I've always had the idea that men in your... Well, I'll call it a profession.
That's nice of you.
That men in your profession always wore trench coats.
Yeah, well, that's because Bogart looks so good in them.
Yes. Well, about our business together. I'll be here in Los Angeles a few days representing the firm in a number of ways, but while I'm here, I hope to locate a man by the name of Buff Ryan.
Did you say that first name was Buff?
Yes, odd name, isn't it?
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. This Buff Ryan, it seems, has inherited a small amount of money from a maiden aunt who passed away some time ago in Philadelphia.
Oh?
According to our information, my firm is executor of her estate, Mr. Ryan came west about a year ago, and until approximately 6 months ago, he could be reached at a Waring Street address in care of a C.A. Douglas. But our correspondence to him there has been returned, marked unknown at this address.
That's the last record you have on him, huh?
Yes, that's the last. We've written to this C.A. Douglas, but received no answer from him. I've called him since I arrived in town. There's been no answer.
Well, maybe they both left town, moved away.
Well, that's possible, of course, but perhaps you'll find that out when you get to checking on Mr. Ryan.
I see. Well, I'm to find him if I can and tell him about this inheritance, huh? By the way, how much is it?
$5,000. Just about Miss Leader's entire estate.
Miss Leader sounds like a comment.
Her full name, you may want that, was Julie Leader.
Julie Leader.
I'm sorry I can't show you a picture of Mr. Ryan. I'm expecting one to be sent out to me while I'm here. Expected it this morning, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, well, maybe a description of him will do. Have you ever seen him?
No. But we were able to find out that he's slightly less than 6 feet tall, light brown hair, straight. Blue eyes, weighed about 180 pounds when he left Philadelphia a year ago. No distinguishing marks about him, according to our description. Oh, yes, and he's about 35 years old.
Well, that's pretty complete. Oh, you better let me have the last address you have on Ryan, too.
Oh, of course. Here. I've written it down for you with the phone number I've been calling.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be handling most of my business affairs right here at the hotel, Mr. Marlowe. I'll appreciate it if you'll check in occasionally. Let me know your progress.
Oh, sure. I'd be glad to.
Say around 3 o'clock this afternoon?
Okay. Tell you everything I know about then.
Yeah?
Oh, pardon me, but I'm trying to locate C.A. Douglas. Does he still live in the house in front of you?
I don't know. I haven't seen Mr. Douglas in quite a while.
Oh. You,
Have a hurry. I'm getting dressed to go to work.
How long have you lived here?
What difference does it make?
Did you ever know a guy named Buff Ryan?
Of course not.
Why, of course not. Why not just know?
Listen, I don't know hardly anybody, and I don't know you, and... now it's the phone. Go away, will you please, mister?
Don't think I will, honey. She was tall, very blonde, very good to look at. A fresh blue housecoat wrapped around just the way it should. And even after I entered the spotless little living room, the faint aura of her cologne lingered on. I couldn't tell anything about the phone conversation she was having in the next room, but I could tell a lot about her by the several scantily clad pictures of her that greeted me from various points of the room. Yeah, I could tell a lot about her.
Hey, what's the idea? You just can't walk in here. Do you want me to call the police?
Not especially. I was just admiring your pictures.
So?
Yeah, you have exceptional handwriting.
You're pretty nosy, aren't you?
I particularly like this sample where it says, "For Buff, darling, my love, Blossom."
Listen, mister, I got things to do, so run along.
How long have you known Buff, honey?
You think I'm kidding about calling the cops? Well, I do it all right, only
Only what?
I'm due downtown at work. Oh, honest, mister, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. You got no right to ask me questions about anything. And nothing says I got to answer.
That's right, honey. You sure don't. Now, where's Buff?
I don't know.
I'll drive you downtown and you can tell me all about it, huh?
You're driving me nowhere but out of my mind.
Now, look, I got good news for your boy. He'd want to see me.
Get out.
Okay, Blossom, okay. What time's your first show?
How did you know?
Yeah, I read the papers. And occasionally I've been known to contribute to the cultural progress of Los Angeles. You know, save the burlesque houses. The pictures she'd autographed to Buff had been propped up between my sugar bowl and the salt shaker the Sunday morning before, in the theatrical section of the Sunday paper. Yeah, I didn't recognize her with her house coat on. And all the way back downtown, I reflected on the advantages of being well-read.
Many, please.
One, huh?
There you are, sir.
Thanks. Say, do you think I can get in to see Blossom?
I don't see how you can miss with buying the ticket and all.
No. I mean, I'd like to see her personally in a dressing room. I'd like to talk to her.
Well, I'm sure you have my permission. Whether or not you'll get Blossoms is strictly between her and her moral fiber.
You know something? You're not much help.
You know something? I don't try to be.
I'll miss you. Myself on a dark, narrow catwalk of the hallway.
Show's gonna be out front, Mac. You guys can't come back here.
Well, this guy did. Where can I find Blossom?
Out front. About 10 minutes.
I'll wait for her back here, thanks.
Look, I can make myself clear if I had got
I wish you would. Your lighting system's very bad back.
Causing too much commotion. Now get out front where you belong.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Now, look, I don't know who you are,
Well,
but
I can clear that up for you quick, friend. I'm the manager of this theater. Now run along like he
Now,
did.
where can we talk? In your office?
Why should I talk to you?
Because I'm a booking agent. I want to talk to you about Blossom.
She's booked.
Okay, we'll talk about something else. Where's your office?
Hey, now look, the show's starting. We can't stay back here. Follow me.
You sure have a bunch of art lovers in the audience.
Sure. It's a class show. Come on, through this door.
All right.
Now then, you're no booking agent, so what's on your mind?
Blossom, and what's your name?
Ballou, George Ballou. Why?
Would it mean anything to you if I told you that Buff Ryan's Aunt Julie died in Philadelphia and left him $5,000?
Wouldn't mean a thing.
Wouldn't, huh?
No.
That's funny. Because you're the first one who'd fit the picture.
What picture?
Slightly under 6 feet tall, light brown hair, straight, blue eyes, about 35 years old, weigh about 180.
Hey, what are you trying to prove? That you can see me?
Maybe. So my Philadelphia message doesn't interest you, huh?
Nothing about you interests me except how you got in here in the first place.
Bought a ticket.
Then go on out and see the show.
I think I will. I also think I'll stick around and see Blossom after her performance.
I wouldn't do that. If I were you, I'd see the show and get out. I don't want any trouble around here.
I don't either. And if you see Buff before the show's over, tell him I'm out front, will you?
I said I don't want any trouble.
You're in a rut. His costume was less demure than her blue housecoat. There was a school of thought surrounding me that this was more effective. Near the door, I stopped a moment in silent appreciation.
Don't look at her like that.
I didn't know I was.
Don't get any more ideas about going back to her dressing room. I ain't gonna like that.
Now, look. Go back to your seat. Live it up. Ballou said it was okay.
He wouldn't say that. He knows better.
All right, go tell him he knows better.
Yeah, I will. You stay here.
It was the same voice I met backstage the first time. The same pungent odor of muscatel. And before he'd lurched back up the aisle, I'd had a good look at a twisted face and a pair of watery blue eyes. Backstage, I waited for Blossom's act to conclude. It did.